This is the LiveWire S2 Alpinista, LiveWire's latest electric motorcycle on the S2 platform. And as you can see, it looks very similar to the Del Mar and Mulholland. The only thing making this thing different is really just the wheel sizes, the tires, a little bit different styling, and the price. This thing comes in at $15,999, but it uses the same Aero System 2 battery and powertrain as the other bikes, and claimed range is about the same as well. You have 120 miles of city, 71 miles highway, and 90 miles of combined range, but that's under 55 miles per hour. To put the LiveWire Alpinista's real-world range to the test, we rode it 3 distinctive ways. First, full aggression, riding hard with no concern for efficiency. Second, a typical street ride, mixing city and highway and having fun along the way. And third, a hyper-efficient run, staying under 55 miles per hour and sticking to city streets. The question is, how much do these riding styles actually impact range? Will the results be closer than expected, or will the differences be dramatic? Let's find out.
That's the thing, you have to kind of be methodical, where if it was a gas bike and you like, an aggressive sport mode, you just put it in there and stay in there the whole day if you wanted. But with this thing, you kind of have to plan out your spirited riding, and yeah, when you can really give it all the juice. So yeah, we'll do eco for now, and yeah, when the road calls for it, we'll drop into sport mode. It'll do wheelies without traction control on, but it kind of limits it. It'll let you get it up, and then I think it has some sort of lift control, like wheelie control. So you can get a pretty good one, and it'll set it down nice and gently, which actually is pretty cool, especially for people maybe that aren't super experienced with wheelies, especially on an electric bike, because it's almost kind of like a sail of, what do they say, fail safe. It's like a little safety net. So, but if you want to get them and try to really extend it, like balance point style, you got to turn traction control off. So we're in eco mode. It, obviously they call it range mode. I'm just gonna call it eco mode because that's kind of how I think of it. But yeah, it's gonna have a lot of regenerative braking, which is nice. Not only to help put energy back into the battery, but it's nice around town or in a little parking lot like that, because you don't have to be on the brakes. The regen slows the bike down so much. Road mode is going to be not the most aggressive, but it's going to be fairly aggressive with a little less regenerative braking. Sport mode is the most aggressive throttle map with the least amount of regenerative braking. We have cruise control, which I think will be very useful on this bike, because you can kind of make sure you're not speeding and draining that battery. The mirrors are nice. They're not my favorite, but they, because there's not a whole lot of vibration, there's almost no vibration on an electric motorcycle, they're super clear even at 60 miles per hour. All right, we're about to, I'm gonna drop it into sport mode. The light's green, I'll show you just how quickly this thing, it just jumps off of the line. See, 65 is the speed limit, so I think, yeah, we'll just do 65, 96%. So yeah, you can see once you get over 55 miles per hour and you're at a high sustained speed, it just starts sucking the life out of the battery. Just cruising at 65, this bike is very comfortable. The ergonomics are super neutral. I'm probably, I would say 5'8", 28-inch inseam, and the reach of the handlebars is super comfortable. And if you're shorter, you have more room to scoot up, but the handlebar reach is super comfortable and neutral. The reach to the pegs, I'm at less than a 90-degree angle on my knees. So yeah, I mean, I could spend all day on this thing. We're in California, so I'm stacking up traffic behind me. 45, so let's just increase it to 50. All right, look at that. We are basically at the water in Laguna. It's just right down there. There's PCH. And from the Cycle World headquarters to this spot is exactly 11 miles according to the LiveWire. And we have lost 10% battery life. It's clear that when you are at a high sustained above 55 miles per hour and you're not chopping the throttle, getting some regen back that this thing, it just sucks the juice out of it.
All right, let's talk about the battery and the powertrain for a second. This is a 10.5 kilowatt hour battery with a claimed 84 horsepower, 194 pound-feet of torque, and they say this thing will go from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. And I believe them, because this thing is unbelievable. And how that translates out on the road is incredibly fun. There's no gears to shift, no clutch to use. It just has the most amazing and powerful torque hit right off the crack of the throttle, and it just keeps surging through the power. It just keeps pulling. And so that's what's made it such a fun and honestly one of the best wheelie bikes I've been on, because you have that torque to get the front wheel up, and then you just never have a lack of power. Even when you're at 60 miles per hour, you just screw the throttle on and you can correct the wheelie, or when you're in the canyons, you're mid-throttle through a corner, and as you spot the exit, you give it some throttle and it just jumps off a corner. It just always is like surged up and charged and ready to just throw a lightning bolt to the rear tire. It's really impressive. And then when you want to just be chill, or you're a new or beginner rider, you throw it in eco mode, and it's the simplicity of an electric motorcycle. You just twist the throttle and go. It's so intuitive. But in eco mode, or range mode as they call it, it's not this crazy aggressive hit that can, scare someone or break the tire loose. You just roll into the power. It's really just a fun and relaxing ride. And then you have the more regenerative braking in range mode, so you can just chop the throttle. You don't have to be aggressive on the brakes. All you have to worry about is just steering the motorcycle, looking ahead, and just applying the throttle that you need.
So 30, and then, oh, I got to zip in front of a car. Boom, that thing comes to life, even in eco mode. It's pretty, it kind of throws you back if you don't anticipate it. It's pretty exhilarating. It kind of has, especially in sport mode, it kind of has like the low end torque and hit of like a big V twin or something like that. But then it pulls in the mid and top range like an inline 4. So like I need to squirt in front of this car, and it'll just keep going. I mean, this thing will go to 100 miles per hour, or it's limited at 99, but it'll get there very quickly. I think maybe 55 might be the new speed limit. I don't know. But cars, it always feels like cars are stacking up behind me when I'm trying to conserve battery on this thing. So we could talk about charging times. If you were out and about, let's say that instead of 80%, you were at 20%. You would be, and it's not even lunchtime, or it's just barely lunchtime. You'd be thinking, okay, I'm not going to make it the rest of the day. So you have a couple options. You have a level 1 charger, you have a level 2 charger. A level 1 charger is included when you get this bike. For, like your typical household outlet, it'll charge the bike from 0 to 100% in right around 9 hours. So overnight, you come home from work, you could do that. It'll charge it from 20 to 80%, like if you're out having lunch or you rode to the office, you plug it in during the day. It'll charge it from 20 to 80% in 5 to 6 hours, I think. Right around there, somewhere between 5 and 6 hours. But if you have a level 2 charger, whether it's yours at home, one at the office, or just out and about at a local mall, that is where this thing will really work as an errand getter, and juicing the thing up during lunch and while you're running around town, because I believe it charges from 0 to 100% on a level 2 charger in I think like 140 minutes or so, and it'll charge it from 80 or 20 to 80% on a level 2 charger in about 70 to 80 minutes, somewhere around there. So a lot more realistic on a level 2 charger for using this thing and running through a couple battery lives throughout the day. Go to lunch, charge the thing up for an hour, you'll get quite a bit of range back. For some, this isn't a replacement for gas motorcycles, it's an addition to or just another option. But for some, this could be your only motorcycle, depending on your lifestyle and just kind of what you intend to do with it. You know what, I have yet to try that power mode I made. Let's see, let's jump into, I can already feel it. Increased power, jumping from eco to road to sport. But it was A. Okay, so now oh my goodness, wow, that is aggressive for sure. And now we're on the freeway, but let's jump back into eco mode. Yeah, let's jump into eco mode. And eco mode, look at it, get in front of that car right there. Still has plenty of get up and go for sure. It really still pulls hard in eco mode, but sport mode, it's like you're shot out of a cannon. For most people, it's nearly impossible to run errands and commute and do all those sorts of things, or go ride your favorite back roads and stuff like that without getting on a freeway or a major highway or a fast street for, you know, at least a few miles. All right, I got over in the far right lane behind these semis. We've been going about 55, and the percentage hasn't dropped as quickly as it was when we were going 70. So we went, I don't know, we started at 29, we went 7+ miles, and we lost over 10% battery life, right? We started at 72 about when we got on the freeway. We're down to 58. We went from 29 miles on the odometer, or the trip, to 37. So yeah, I think at most highway speeds in most areas, you're gonna experience losing over 1% range or battery life per mile.
You kind of got to pay to play on this thing. The harder you ride it, the quicker you're going to drain that battery, higher speed. So yeah, we're finding out kind of what, if you're going to ride kind of aggressively, and just kind of how you would with a gas motorcycle, what kind of range you're going to get. So, but yeah, really impressive. The brakes, the suspension, the chassis. But you have a Brembo 4-piston caliper up front, a single piston Brembo caliper at the rear. And these brakes are really nice. They're sharp, they have a good initial bite, and they just have so much feel at the lever. They're really progressive, and that just allowed me to feel really comfortable getting the thing up into a no-stoppy and modulating it, trying to get it a little higher, and locking up the rear, which was really nice, like coming in and like, not that you can hack on this thing like a gas bike, but just you have a really sporty braking package out of this thing. And that goes the same with the suspension. You have a 43mm inverted Showa fork up front with compression and rebound adjustment, and then a Showa monoshock with a progressive linkage at the back with preload and rebound adjustment. And this stuff is really good. Opened up the compression a little bit for my lighter weight. It's taut, it has really good hold up, and that goes with the chassis. Like it has so much feel, and it's agile because I think the weight is low, and you don't have that internal combustion, the gyro effect. But it just has really direct feel. It's not super quick handling, but it's sharp. You have to give a little bit of an initial input, and it just is a very stable, sporty package. It's really impressing me at what you can do on this thing. All right, we're gonna do a little launch right here. They claim 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, so we're in sport mode. I got traction control on because I'm afraid I might loop the thing out, but I'm just gonna grab a handful of throttle and send it. So here we go, 1, 2, 3.
I'm really impressed with the performance of this bike. This is the first LiveWire I've ever been on, and not that I doubted it, but I definitely didn't think I could ride this thing like a high-performance naked bike, but you certainly can. So I think we're going to turn right here onto El Toro and see if we can make it out to the canyon for a couple twisties with enough range to rip up some canyon roads and still make it back to the office. Alright, I don't know if you can see, but there's the mountains back there. They're really not far away, but right now with 30% battery life left, they seem far away. Probably only 5-10 more miles, but now that we're getting low on battery, it's becoming more of a concern to me. For someone looking for an additional bike in their garage, something with tons of performance, build quality, and the unique experience of riding an electric motorcycle, Yeah, this comes at kind of a premium price tag of $16,000, but it works. When you ride it and use it the way it's intended to be used, it has zero complaints. It'd be criminal not to put it in sport mode for these twisty canyon roads. Let's get it. Brakes are good, a lot of good feel, good bite, progressive stopping power. This thing just feels like a scalpel out here. It turns in, I mean, you got to put a little bit of effort like I talked about, but once you do, it just carves. It just carves up. It just, you just look through the corner, it follows its, you know, the line that you set, and then you have all the power to just rip off the apex. You spot the exit and just zing! I mean, look at that. It just jumps forward. Oh! Oh! Good thing I have traction control on. Kind of goosed it on the exit there and the rear end broke loose. A little bit of cold pavement, maybe some cold tires. That maybe we'll take it easy for the rest of this canyon road.
The results are in. We rode this thing 3 different ways and got 3 different results. 1, we rode it like a hooligan with no regard for range in sport mode, hard on the throttle, well above 55 miles per hour, and we got 55 miles of range. 2, we rode it like you would on an everyday ride. We did stints on the freeway, we rode through the city, and we rode on some back canyon roads, above 55 miles per hour at times, below 55 miles per hour at other times, and we got 79 miles of range. Number 3, we rode it super conservatively with range in mind, staying below 55 miles per hour on city streets, and we got 92 miles of range, which is still less than what LiveWire claims of 120 miles of range in the city below 55 miles per hour. However, the LiveWire Alpinista is one of the most fun, exhilarating motorcycles I've ever been on. The power plant is amazing. The power comes on like an uppercut punch from Mike Tyson and then just keeps pulling like a rocket ship trying to leave the atmosphere. It's truly incredible. And the chassis is amazing as well. Super sporty handling, agile, quick to steer. The suspension's really good. The damping control is excellent. It's soft and supple in the initial part of the stroke, good for city riding, but then it has plenty of hold up when you're out doing spirited riding in the canyons. And then the Brembo braking package is awesome as well. Super sharp response at the lever, progressive stopping power. It's really a good motorcycle with great fit and finish. For me personally, I drank the Kool-Aid on electric motorcycles after riding the LiveWire Alpinista. It's so much fun, but the fun just doesn't last long enough. I can't wait for battery technology to improve so I can get 200 miles out of a single charge. Now, if this works for your use case, the LiveWire Alpinista is one of the most exhilarating motorcycles on the market, and you should definitely consider it.